Welcome back to the 414. It's your co-host Wes here with Mr. Dami in the building. We got a nice special one for you guys today.
Indeed. Well, first and foremost, before we get into it, how you feeling, brother?
Hey man, it's been a great day thus far. A lot going on. However, it's been pretty good. How about yourself?
Hey, bro, chilling, can't complain. The birds is shining, sun is chirping, God is good as always.
Right. It's definitely opposite day for sure, for sure. But
Absolutely, but you came in strong, so I know you got something today, and I know you taking the helm, so
oh
I'm
yeah.
basically a
So
viewer right now.
no, you gonna chip in. You gonna do your part. We're not paying you
Okay,
for nothing.
okay.
So
Damn.
today we got an interesting topic. As we all have been following, I would think, within the political news, we have Mr. Biden basically pulling out of the re-election campaign. We're gonna dive into that today, as well as Kamala being the new Democratic elect. That's another topic we're gonna get into too. But we're definitely gonna start out with. I want to hear your take, brother, at least on some of the thoughts, some of the things you've been seeing in regards to Mr. Biden pulling out of the re-election campaign for his next 4 years.
I mean, I feel as though it's not. I don't think it's that big of a surprise to anyone that he pulled out at all. I think for years he's kind of showed us that he's old, brother. And not that
For
age
sure.
disqualifies you, but at his age, he didn't really have it all together. From the falling over on the bike to missing his cues all the time on stage to calling people the wrong name, wrong titles. He fell up the staircase on Air Force One. Just all around, it was not a good look at all. And for someone who's supposed to be the most powerful man on earth doing things like that, it doesn't exactly show strength,
Right.
which I feel like this country tries to do on a consistent basis. And I feel like also, especially after that debate, which was bad. I didn't even watch it. I just caught clips of it because I already knew it was just gonna be back and forth, cat and mouse stuff between Trump and Biden. But it was bad, man. It was really, really bad.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm in total agreement with you. It was a debacle from start to finish, and also to reading, on Twitter or even reading some of the articles where a lot of delegates in the Democratic Party they were saying, "Listen, this is our guy, but we don't want this to be our guy." Like he's 81, he's older. There's health
He's
complications. There's just
81.
81.
You think
Mr.
he's
Joe
older,
Biden's
bro?
81. That's what I'm saying, and it's like he's already up there in age. Granted, there's some people who are still kicking and fighting and doing well at 81, but for someone with such a prestigious position, you want to make sure they're at their peak mental and physical capacity, to be able to carry out the duties of president. So hearing his own team kind of start, whispering they're not so certain about his reelection is definitely concerning. But I think it was in the pipeline. It was in the works, man, cuz stuff like that, when it comes to mental wellness and capacity, these are things you got to worry about with a job such as president of the United States. Um but yeah, no, I think a lot of people are kind of relieved now that he pulled out because seeing another, you know, possible 4 years of that, I don't think no matter the political party, I don't think no one was really up for it if we're being honest here, So I think that's definitely one aspect there.
For
Um,
sure, I don't disagree.
so
Guy's old, brother.
that's what
Man
I,
is
bro. You're
old.
you're 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 actually how old he is, bro.
Old,
He's
bro.
81, bro.
You
He's an
wouldn't think him
old
and
guy.
Trump are as close in age as they actually are. I think they were 3, 4 years apart, something like that.
Something like that, yeah. But like when you actually like
Trump is
sit down
78.
and sit when you sit down and look at it, like these guys are very old. Not like, but they're up there in age for the job that that they've had.
For sure,
So
but the way Biden operates, man, you would think he's
you
in his what, early 90s, mid
Yeah,
90s.
for sure. You think it's about time for them to start planning convalescent homes. Like these are things where it's like he's up there. He's up there. But I think that was the biggest concerning factor for a lot of Democratic, you know, supporters or even Democratic delegates where they were just not so certain about him as their primary guide for reelection. But with that being said, I do have an article here in regards to Mr. Biden's um, basically resignation from his campaign here. I'm just gonna pull it up. Let's see.
You said it's a article from his campaign. Let me see.
So here, where they basically were talking about how Biden already had the thoughts of kind of backing out. So first is how it started. He got COVID, and then he went to one of his vacation homes, if you could read here. And from there, that's where, he was with his aides, his, closest aides and staffers and all that stuff. And they were talking about how, one, it wasn't looking too good as far as polling numbers. And two, for Biden, it was difficult because on top of that, he was sick. So even him still trying to run, and make a stance, I can beat Trump, was a bit hard for him to do that from his beach home, with COVID at that. Um, but yeah, man, this is definitely something to where we kind of seen this coming. This is something that I didn't want to say would happen, but I definitely saw it coming down the works. But yeah. Do you think
Not for
now,
sure.
with
My bad,
that
what?
being the case, with
Mhm.
that being the case, do you think with the new elect of Kamala Harris, do you think that would put some Democratic, voters at ease with a different candidate?
Yes and no. Obviously, Kamala isn't nowhere near where Joe Biden was, age wise, comprehension wise. She's much more active compared to him, which is appreciated. I believe she's 53. I could be wrong. You might have to fact check
She's
me on that. I
60
believe she's
something. She's in her
60
60s.
something. No way.
Yeah,
No way. She's 59.
so 360. She's up
She's
there.
59. She doesn't look it though.
No, which is, it's
She
good.
doesn't look it.
Black don't crack.
Absolutely,
So I'm saying.
absolutely. So I do feel as though that is a good thing that she is on the younger side. But at the same time, Biden put in pain on the political stage throughout the decades, man. He been
Yeah.
out there.
He's been in politics for decades. So he definitely, you know, created that path for himself. But it's like, dude, eventually you got to know when to give up the torch, you know? Like, I get it. He's worked hard to get to where he's at. And, in some regards, he's done some good things, but he is about time for him to give up the torch. Um, with that being said, too, though, Kamala is very interesting because she how it works when it comes to a delegate or a nominee within a Democratic Party for our campaign run. You need a certain amount of votes from the delegates. So Kamala ended up getting. I have an article for how this kind of looks and what it basically says. For Kamala though, she got basically all the votes she needed, like right out the gate. So right here, Kamala
I
Harris
sort of, yeah. I
in the
think
delegates. Yeah,
basically
you
everything
see
that went
this,
to
right?
Biden like rolled over, right?
Exactly, and that's kind of interesting too because usually there be some talks about maybe possibly another candidate up against her, but as soon as Biden said, hey, he's pulling out of the race, Kamala stepped up, and there really wasn't much issue or argument about her being the Democratic nominee. So I guess most of the sentiment is on Kamala's side when it comes to this topic. She's an interesting candidate though because this is not something that no one kind of seen coming.
Absolutely. And with her role being the vice president, and she's not exactly on the forefront of things all the time,
Yeah,
no one can really speak to much of what she's done in the last 4 years. The average person couldn't really tell you what she's done
yeah, for
in the
sure.
last
That's
four
another
years.
thing too. And I think but that's also where in my opinion, where I don't if we're voting on principle of voting for different policies and the right policies are what we deem as important. I don't want this to be another, Trump and Biden race where it's just like, oh, I'm voting for Biden because I don't want Trump to win, because we don't really know what Kamala has done to date. We don't really know much of the policies, but she's following in the coattails of Biden. So a lot of the things that he stood for, she, is pretty similar in base. So I don't think there'd be too much movement from the target demographic and audience, which could be a good thing as well. So same, same topics and same talking points, just a different speaker, so to speak. It'd be Kamala.
True.
Some people though, I think might have an issue, with it being because it's kind of funny too, bro. She was a prosecutor before all this stuff, so some people were making jokes on Twitter. They were like, "Yeah, bro, make sure you got that bail money ready, cause you're getting locked up. Anything happens, you're getting locked up." That's one thing she's good at, putting people
No,
behind bars. She was
she
a
was
state
definitely
prosecutor or something like that.
she was a federal prosecutor, so over in San Francisco, over in Cali. She
Yeah.
was district attorney and attorney general. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
So I know that's been I've been seeing a lot of mixed reviews and reactions to this news. There's been a lot of, oh God, she's a black woman. We got to rally around her. This, that, and the third. People been questioning her blackness because I believe she's Indian on her mother's side and Jamaican on the other.
Yeah.
But even her father's Jamaican side, I believe they're saying like he was like from India, descended and like migrated to Jamaica, and she was born there. So like genetically, she's basically 100% Indian.
It's a lot of mixed
So
reviews
they've been
here.
calling that into question. They've been saying, like you brought up, her history as a prosecutor. They've been saying she spent a lot of her time throwing black people into prison and penitentiaries and giving them max sentences for smaller infractions, marijuana possession, things like that. And she gave people years.
Oh, for sure. When it came to definitely like prosecuting, either drug crime and things like that, or especially when it came to weed in the black community, she was definitely heavy-handed.
Absolutely. So I've been seeing a lot of that online. People trying to question her blackness and if she's for the cause or not. Yeah. They've been asking, oh, what has she done for black people these last 4 years and things along that line. But I really feel like, and this is an issue I have with a lot of people when it comes to politics, I feel like people tend to confuse the presidency for king.
What do you mean by that? Explain a little bit more.
Oh, inflation's on the rise. This happened. Police brutality. This, that, and the third. Outside of executive orders and pardons, yeah, your average president's got his hands tied. Because you got to go through due process, and it has to go through the Senate, and it has to go through the Supreme Court, and there's a process to everything. There's 1,000 people squeezed into those 3 buildings over in D.C. trying to run this whole country, and half of them don't even like the president 9 times out of 10. So I really feel as though people tend to blame the president since he is the face of the government and the country. Yeah. He does catch a lot of the flack, but there's only so much that they can do as president.
Right. I agree. I think that's what we tend to forget when we're electing a president. It's like he can't control everything, and our government is set up in a framework of checks and balances, right? That's how we have 3 forms of government, so one can check the other, so one doesn't get too powerful, or at least that's how it's supposed to go. But yeah, no, when you're talking, the executive branch, like you're saying, pardons, executive orders, and he can veto things like that. But he doesn't have totalitarian power, like
absolutely
certain things could be done in the event of an emergency, but you only really pull that bell, or you only really pull that lever if things are as bad as they can be, like that's the hard thing I feel like with the situation, when it comes to presidency. It's like you can only do so much with the little resources you do have. And on top of that, you're fighting half of the Senate your whole 4 years as well. So I think that's a hard position to be in, where it's like half the people don't even like you, and they don't want you here. The other half may like you, but they have their own ulterior motives, and that you have to factor in as well. Tying it back though, for a job like this, I think a lot of people are calling into question how ready is Kamala for this. You got to remember, she just hopped in the ring, bro. Like I don't think she obviously wants to, fight Trump and make sure she wins, but how ready is she really, to actually take on a former president, technically, yeah, like a former president who's kind of went through this already. She kind of just got thrown in the fire. I've been seeing that too a lot on social media, where it's just like, is she really ready for something like this? Kind of just being thrown in the fire last minute. Like, because dating back, when can you ever think of a president that pulled out of their campaign, fairly, like, within the middle of their campaign, making their
Yeah,
run?
I believe this is the first time it's ever happened like this.
Yeah, so it's like something like
With the
this is
election
so off
being
the
in
cuff.
what, three months away?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about, bro. Like, this is something that's never happened. So for the Democratic Party, they're scrambling to make sure this doesn't basically foil their full campaign.
Absolutely, but I would I would like to hope that the Democratic Party assessed their position years ago and took President Biden's health into consideration as well. Obviously they'd hope that he could serve his full 4 years and
Right.
run again, but I believe also in the back of their minds they also surmise that that may not have been a possibility, and they weighed their options.
Right.
And I feel as though, if not Kamala, who else? You
That's
know,
very true. I know there's
who
probably like
else?
some
Who
other
else?
senators they'd probably have to like rally around and
It's too
campaign
late to
for.
rally around somebody
Yeah, you got to
and
just
bring
take
them
what you
up
can
this
get,
late.
for sure. No, that's
Exactly.
the
So it
tough
wouldn't
thing.
surprise me if VP Harris has been, preparing and been prepared behind the scenes to
Yeah,
take
for
over
something. Oh,
if
for
need
sure.
be.
Definitely something that was in the works, most likely. Almost like that break the glass scenario. Hopefully we don't have to use this,
Yeah,
but in the event that we do have someone in line.
absolutely, absolutely. I feel like also the way people rallied around Trump after that incident of his, what, about a week ago, a week and a
Yeah,
half
it's
ago.
crazy. It's
Yeah,
insane.
see the polls, brother. Oof.
Oh yeah, bro. It's
Just
crazy. It's
looking.
crazy. And it's looking real interesting. I know for Trump this is like getting served steak on a silver platter, bro.
Absolutely. I
Like,
mean, he said it himself on his social media platform. He said something along the lines of, "Oh man, Sleepy Joe done dropped out. It's about time. Glad he finally did something right. Yeah, do your last few months and get up out of there. But y'all brought Kamala out. Oh man, it's gonna be even easier than Joe."
see, like he's ready. He's ready. He wants all the smoke, I think, honestly.
Absolutely. I feel like, I'm gonna be honest. I still think Trump's gonna come out on top. I won't lie.
Looking
I
at it for
think he
what it
will.
is, I would have to agree with you. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's
I think she'll
definitely
give him a
a.
run for his money for sure.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
think it'll be
Oh
the
yeah.
landslide people think it will be.
No, because you got to remember now, she also is pulling in another, audience and demographic as well, which is women. More women that are willing to vote for her. I would say, than.
But I mean, we saw how that went with Miss Clinton in years
Yeah, but
past.
here's the difference. Here's the difference. So Clinton, she is a big difference. She has some skeletons in her closet over some things that she did. She was lying about certain things. She didn't tell the American people about certain things that happened. So there was an issue with credibility when it came to Hillary. But I think with Kamala, there's a clean slate. She was VP for what, 4 years. So now she's coming in as a possible, candidate, or not possible, an actual candidate and possible elect. So it's different. It's different. Hillary had so much time, you know, in politics, and she definitely messed up some things and made some enemies, especially with the American people. So I think it's a bit different when it comes to Hillary. We just don't people just don't trust her,
True, very true.
and I think that's where the
But she had
difference
that
lies.
experience factor to her.
She
She
did,
was a Clinton, bro.
yeah, but look where that got her. Nowhere.
True,
She like,
true.
'Yeah, she was a Clinton. You know,
I saw a headline. It was funny to me. It said that if Trump wins again, he'll be the man that took down both female presidential candidates.
Yo,
That's a funny record.
that's
When it comes to those women, I'm 2-0.
No, for sure, bro. Like that's crazy. That is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. But no, I agree with you. If she's gonna give him a run for his money, she's gonna tap into all the bases she can and definitely give him a run. It's not gonna be nothing to where it's like, oh, she's coming in, one hand tied behind her back and trying to make it work. Like she has some time to get herself together.
Absolutely. But I know, in addition, I don't think we spoke on it. I don't think it happened yet on the last one. Trump picking his running mate.
No, we didn't speak on this the last
Okay.
episode. Yeah,
So, I mean, just to summarize real quick, at the Republican National Convention, I believe, that took place last Sunday, he announced that his running mate will be, I believe he's a senator?
Yeah, senator from Ohio.
Ohio Senator J.D. Vance.
Mm-hmm.
So that was announced. I knew you.
No, I was saying that gentleman.
Mm. You got beef with JD.
No,
what he do?
I don't have no beef, bro. I was just looking at his resume and looking at the things he was saying. He's an interesting fella.
Okay. I mean, I know for sure he comes from the background of, I'm a hardworking, blue collar American man. I know what it's like to be in your shoes. I know he wrote a bestseller along those lines. So I feel as though he'll definitely help out Trump in states like that. The Midwestern states, your blue collar, roll up your sleeves, get work done states.
Yeah, oh, for sure. He's from, Ohio. So it's like, I think he could appeal to more of those bootstrap, kind of guys.
Absolutely.
That'd be more so his base, which could help as well. But we were talking about some stuff earlier when it came to Mr. Vance. I don't know if you wanted to talk about some of that.
No, go right ahead.
This gentleman. Well, yeah, we'll get into it. So basically, Mr. Senator Vance from Ohio. What was it, like 2016? I think some of these interviews started coming out. I believe it was 2016, where he was he was staunchly against Mr. Trump. They called him what was it, a no Trumper? I think some of the videos.
That's exactly what he said. Never a Trumper or something like that.
Never Trumper or no Trumper. Basically, like, he did not agree with the policies of Mr. Trump. He did not want no parts of it. He called him an idiot, called him explicit.
He said anyone that would vote for him is an idiot.
Is an idiot. There it is. So some explicit other words as well, targeted towards Mr. Trump. So for him to be now his elect for vice president is very interesting. But Trump endorsed him, I believe, in his Senate run in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. So I guess from there, Vance kind of obviously switched his tone and the rhetoric, obviously, if you have a president endorsing your Senate run. But yeah, no, it's just kind of crazy choice. He went from, I don't want nothing to do with this guy. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about, or why is he running, because he doesn't know what he's doing. This isn't gonna work. The people don't like him. People who were voting for him are idiots. And now it's like, oh, he's a great guy. You see all the interviews now. He kind of switched it all up. He's a great guy. I was wrong. So to pull a 180, what? 6 years isn't long, but when it comes to politics, that's a lot could happen in 6 years. And obviously it has. He went from, regular senator from Ohio to now the running for VP and for the Republican Party. It's very interesting stuff.
For sure. But I know Trump himself was a Democrat originally.
Yeah, when he was younger. Yeah.
It's funny. I believe he said it in an old interview or video. He said that if he ever ran for office, he would run as a Republican because those people believe anything. So I really feel like deep down, he's not a Democrat or a Republican. He's just an opportunist.
Yeah, I think, but also too, like when it comes to that aspect, if you're an opportunist, you're gonna go which way the wind blows, whatever gets you further, you're gonna go.
He's made his bed with the Republicans now, though. There's no switching.
No, he can't switch. He's all set. Yeah. He can't switch. Yeah, no. it wouldn't even make sense. But I think now with that laid out, we have Kamala versus Trump. How do you think this will play out for the American people? Do you think that this is something where it's going to be crazy riots and there's going to be upset around the country if either side wins? Because you got to remember now Trump's base is absolutely on it. They're full of energy and they're full of fight. So it's like either side, man, it can get kind of crazy. We don't want another January. What was it, 6th or January 4th?
Yeah, January 6th.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of energy on both sides. I feel as though on the Republican side is more so, oh, Biden stepped down, we got this in the bag. But on the Democratic side of things, is more so, this is a chance to rebuild and come back better than before.
Yeah.
And with VP Harris, if she's really able to get that woman vote and the black vote behind her, she could definitely give Donald Trump a run for his money.
I would agree. I think it's a tough one though, man, because
But how she goes about it,
yeah,
that's the question. Like, I think she did some type of press conference earlier today or yesterday. She came out singing Beyonce and and she actually got permission from Beyonce ahead of time. She probably just wanted to told her. I don't blame her. I know she came out to Beyonce and she got up there, hyped the people up, this, that, and the third. Took shots at Trump and kept it pushing. But like I said, I think that'll also be a much more interesting debate as well. Seeing the two of them go at it. Because if there's one thing Trump's good at doing, he'll get under your skin, bro. He'll get under your skin. He'll be on that podium 8 feet away from you. He'll give you a nickname.
already a nickname out the
It was
gate.
what, Sleepy Joe.
Mhm.
There was who else had a nickname?
He gave Elizabeth Warren like Pocahontas or something like that. Something insane.
She's not
like
Native
that.
American, is she?
That was the no. I think she did say she was, and then she had to backtrack that statement.
That's
But he
funny.
called her Pocahontas. He called some other like candidates some other wild stuff as well.
That is hilarious.
Yeah,
But yeah, I feel as though it'll definitely be an entertaining one to see pan out.
Yeah, and one thing I can say, Kamala, she can debate. She can talk.
I've never seen her debate, so I won't speak to that. All I know is that she's giving some atrocious speeches, brother.
Well, I'm not.
She's giving some atrocious interviews.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you ever see? I forgot what network she went on, and she basically spoke on the Russian-Ukraine conflict. Did you ever see that clip?
I don't think I have.
I kid you not. It went something exactly like this. So basically, right, Russia is a bigger country.
Oh boy.
And Ukraine is a smaller one. And the bigger country wants to take over the smaller country. And we just can't have that happen.
Bro.
I kid you not, bro. That's exactly how it went down.
Oh.
It's like, jeez, man. That's how you addressing the nation, not your nephew.
People. Like you talking.
Like you trying to break down the war to a 7-year-old, exactly.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Well, all things considered, I'm pretty sure her team's gonna she's gonna have to be prepped. I mean, because if she's talking, like that in her speeches as VP, she's gonna get torched. If she's running for president against Trump at that of all people, like you gotta give it to him. Hate him or love him, you gotta give it to him. The guy's quick witted, and he could make a speech. He could deliver a speech.
You're not lying. You're not lying, brother. I miss those Obama speeches, man.
Listen, it was concise, poignant. He came
straight to it.
Absolutely, that real confident. Lead into it. Oh, it was a great time. Those speeches actually too. Like I would use that. I would use that to like help me present in classes. I'd walk up there. I'd walk up there, bro. Fix my shirt. I'm like, how we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Make my deep, make my voice all deep. You know,
Hmm.
but it's because like, bro, he was a great communicator in
Oh,
general,
for
not even
sure.
just in his speeches, just in general, like one on one. If you ever watch those type of interviews, or if he's addressing the nation about something serious, or if it's more of something less serious, didn't matter. Just great communicator. But I got a follow up as well.
Okay.
So some of the things I've been seeing as well, especially on social media, on Twitter especially, is people talking about how Kamala is trying to rally for the black vote, but she's dating a white man. This is something I've been seeing a lot of as well, bro. Why do you think that is when it comes to
Man.
politicians or celebrities? Like when it comes to the whole race thing, because you have two aspects. You have the person who wants their support from their community, but then you have the community looking at them like, well, I don't know if I really want to support you if your partner isn't a part of this community as well.
I mean, I feel as though that's always been a topic. How can you be for black people when you married a white man or an Asian man or a
Yeah.
Hispanic man? I'm a firm believer in love who you love. Who cares?
No, I agree. I agree.
If you got a type, that's you. But don't go pushing that on nobody. But
No,
I
I
feel as
definitely
though
agree.
whoever she chose to marry shouldn't have anything. That shouldn't speak to her support of the African American community as a whole. I don't think the two correlate at all, to me personally. And I really do think that mindset is a bit outdated.
Mm.
You see your favorite African American or black model actress pop out with a white dude. Not everybody Dr. Umar. How that make sense?
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. Now they out here toting, you gotta love the community first and all this other stuff. But no, it's a
No,
fair
for
point.
sure. Like, come on, man. This woman is the first black vice president ever. Just that alone, she's done more for the community than your average person.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt.
So I don't like that narrative at all. You actually had the people that say, "Oh, she married a white man. What is she doing for? What did you do? What did you do? You donated $10 to BLM and she used it on a mansion. What did you
Yeah,
do?
yeah. No,
What did
that's
you do?
facts. That's facts.
You're not a you're not in not a social justice warrior. You're not an activist because you decided to marry a black man. You did nothing for us. And coming after a black woman, that's just hypocritical in addition.
Yeah,
So
I
I
think
do
it.
feel as though, if she's able to find some type of way to unite the community in a sense, because maybe I'm just, speaking on the initial reaction. Maybe give it some time to pan out. But from what I've been seeing, talking to people and even online as well, opinions are just all over the place. Some people love her, some people hate her. Some people vote for her just because she's black, which I don't agree with. I think you should vote for whoever you think is better for the job. And some people vote for her just because she's a Democrat. I disagree. Just because you like Biden doesn't mean you should automatically like her.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely
sure,
agreed.
for the most part, I'm sure they have really similar policies, but I'm sure there's some nuances, and those should be looked into as well.
Yeah, before I think definitely before making a choice, look into the nuances as far as what you're actually voting for, as opposed to, well, I belong to this party, so I have to vote for this candidate by default, which I just never agreed with.
You know,
I think that in of itself is one of the most hypocritical things, to say or do, because it's like, okay, you want to vote for or what you deem as the correct, candidate, but if you don't look at the nuances of what this candidate's offering, you could be voting for the wrong person, or you could vote for someone who goes directly against what you want within a candidate. And sometimes you could find what you want in a candidate on the other side of the aisle if you actually look into what kind of policies they represent and wanna instill into law.
absolutely. I don't disagree. But I do feel as though there's layers to it. It's not a simple answer
Yeah, but
at
back
all.
to that the point of how her relationship shouldn't be an issue. I definitely would agree with that. I think though within the black community, I don't know, bro. That's always gonna. I feel like it's always going to be a thing. Just because, like, I don't know. I feel like some black people's like, oh, if you want my support, you should be through and through for the black community, which I don't know. I feel like that's an argument to be made, but also it's like if this person is trying to help the black community, you can't really take that away from them either, you know. Um, but yeah, I think for that reason, people are kind of like, making it seem like, oh, she's not really for the black community, blah blah blah. I think that might stop some people from voting for her. I'm not gonna lie. I think that would be a factor, unfortunately.
I don't disagree, but that's just the way cookies gonna have to crumble on that one, brother. So I think
Yeah.
I do think her good outweighs her bad. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree.
I feel like
For
her good does outweigh her bad, and
yeah,
like you said, she didn't marry a black man. I think if you'd make a better point if you were to argue her incarceration record in Cali. I think that'd be a better thing to
yeah,
bring up in an argument than who she decided to marry.
true, true.
There's plenty of people in the community that we give a bunch of love to that married white men.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So let's not pick and choose now.
That's a good point. That is a very good point.
The woman did very well for herself. She was vice president, and who knows, she could be president. So,
I guess we'll see in a couple months. Where
for
things are
sure.
going. But within
Maybe I
the
should throw my
polls,
ballot in, brother. What you think?
yeah, let's get the ballot going. Let's see. Let's see.
President Damilola Awe.
I think
I have to make some adjustments. I'm not 35.
Yeah, we're gonna have to forge a couple papers.
Yeah. What's the math on that? I always like 78. I think 1978 works as a DOB.
Yeah. I think that'd be
I have to
solid.
make some changes, brother.
I don't know.
You ever feel like being vice president?
I think it'd be a solid vice president.
Actually, nah. That's too much spotlight, brother. I feel like I'd give you something. I'd give you something like nobody cares about.
Why?
So you could do whatever you want, bro.
Bro, but I feel like with vice president, bro, like people don't really care. Think about.
I don't know, like director of internal affairs or something.
Now, why would I do that? What am I gonna do?
Sounds fun, bro. I put you in charge of Area 51.
Nah, bro. Vice president. Actually,
Pentagon director.
Oh, bro, no. Actually, make me director of the CIA. I want to know what the hell's going on.
Absolutely not.
I want to know what's going on over there, bro.
Not.
Yes, bro.
Yes,
bro. Yeah.
You annoying as it is. You gonna put this dude in charge of the CIA?
Absolutely.
This dude gonna FaceTime me. I'm not gonna pick up. I'm just gonna see him on every screen in front of me. Yo, why you not picking up the phone, gang?
That's the problem, that you assume I would just call you first. That's the problem. That's the problem already. We up to a bad start, bro. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is how I know you can't do a job, bro. This is how I know. Would you actually okay, here's a question for you.
Okay.
Would you, in the future, I know you probably wouldn't really want to delve into politics or anything like that, but say in the future things so happen to come that way, would you actually, participate within politics?
I want no parts.
Fair enough.
I want no parts. I mean, we've had this conversation in the past, but I feel as though most politicians do have good intentions in the beginning of their careers, but I think the political engine's been running fairly smoothly all these centuries. America's damn near 250 years old.
Yep.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Things have been going all this year. So when you're a fresh and new little cog in the machine, you can't expect to make no great changes. You got to play the game. You got to deal with the lobbying, and you got to deal with the big corporations in your ear trying to throw you some money here or there to have their how would I phrase it? To have their policies that benefit them, to have things like that, their agendas supported. Fun fact: not to sidetrack us, but I believe it was. Let me get the exact number because I saw this and it's hilarious. I believe there was a report that said Elon Musk donated $45 million to Trump.
Oh wow.
And I'm assuming it was for him to, make some sort of legislation to support protecting the environment and factoring EVs into that. You know how many times Trump has gone on stage in the last month? We're gonna roll back a lot of those restrictions and bring back internal combustion.
Yeah. Hey, bro,
See,
the
now
money,
I'm not
the
gonna
money.
lie. Trump might have my vote for that one. He
Okay.
he might he might listen. Let me tell
I'm
y'all something.
listening. I'm listening.
Tim Kaniskis and those people over at Dodge decided to get rid of the 6.2 liter V8 known as the Hellcat. For the people of you that don't know, a Hellcat is not a car. It is technically, but the name itself, it doesn't belong to a car. It belongs to any cars that have a 6.2 liter V8 in them with either 707 or 717 horsepower. They changed it over the years. They got rid of it because the car no longer met emission standards, which were also increased due to President Biden and his policy. If Trump is able to give me my Hellcat back, I'm not gonna lie. MAGA 2024. I said it.
Bro, you about to get shot like he did. You better chill out. You better chill out, bro.
If he can bring my Hellcat back, call me biased. MAGA 2024. I'll wear the hat and everything.
Listen, guys, I just want to say I never said my political views up here. I
And
don't
these
think
are
I
the
will at
views
the moment.
of the 414.
No, this is not the views of the 414. This is the views of one individual on the 414. Don't take that as a full, statement for all of us.
I'd
We
say at
just
least half of the 414 would agree.
like 49%. We can't put half because that's too much. We don't want to put half of the 414 up here. That he said he's for the maggot. Listen, I'm just I'm just a spectator. I'm trying to see what's going on. That's all. But to your point, I feel like when it comes to the energy thing, even if he did roll back the admission standards to more relaxed, basically how they were before Biden, but also
You're
Obama
saying
was
like
pushing
it'd be a
for.
temporary thing?
Yeah, I'm saying because even then, like Obama's still pushing for like stronger admission standards and things like that. So I don't even know. I don't think it would last long. I'll be honest, because you got to remember a lot of these companies already started to adopt these new standards and have started to already integrate clean energy into their manufacturing processes. So for you to like roll all these things back, there has to be some net incentive. And like, yeah, I guess you could drop taxes and also you could like give incentives to these companies. But if they're already integrating all these other aspects into their manufacturing, I mean, some of them might do it, but I feel like most of them would just continue to integrate.
I hear what you're saying, but I feel like there is a net benefit. I feel as though EVs, it's starting to look as though EVs were a trend. It was a trendy thing, and they're gonna come and go because the EV sales have plummeted across the board. People are starting to get what $7, $10, $15,000 quotes for battery replacements for those your Teslas, your Taycans, and whatever EV you bought 7-8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
People, there's been no major changes in the charging process. I think the fastest you can get a full charge about 15 minutes to half an hour, something like that.
Yeah, but you need like
Still
one of those
long. You
really
can pump a lot of
fast
gas
chargers.
in 15 minutes, bro.
Oh, bro, yeah.
You know? So I feel as though things like that have definitely hindered things. At the end of the day, gas is just still more convenient. But to not get sidetracked, this is a conversation for
Yeah,
a whole another day.
we'll tab that. But no,
For
that's a good
sure,
point.
for sure.
That's definitely a good point. But I think based on like if Trump were to go that route, I think it'd be something more. It's like I think it'd be more like a temporary fix in his eyes. Like we'll roll it back. I'm here. I want to help. Car manufacturers and the people who disagree will roll it back. But I feel like that's something that he would get fought tooth and nail on the whole way. It's possible. Definitely, it's possible to roll back a lot of those
I
restrictions.
think it depends to what degree he's rolling back those emission standards. Because
I,
if it's anything goes, then yeah, that's definitely bad for business. I won't lie, and it affects a lot more than just vehicles.
yeah, because now you got to talk about everything, bro. Like,
Yeah,
and that's
but like you
basically that's
said,
a
I feel
slap in
like
the face to
corporations have
the.
also. No, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, you good. Go ahead.
Okay, I feel as though corporations have already, like you said, already pumped too much money into going green.
Yeah.
I'm sure you see the headlines all the time. Oh, this company pledges to be completely green by 2035 or 2028.
Yep.
Almost every S&P 500 company that has some sort of emissions, as they basically all pledged to be green by like what 2040, 2050 at the latest.
Yeah.
I know even some states are leaning that way too, like California. I hate that state, man. California. I know they're banning the sale of new. They're trying to, I believe, if they haven't already done it, ban the sale of all new internal combustion vehicles. So you can still buy one, but not brand new.
I see. Okay.
I
Yeah.
know
So
that was put in
they're making
place
that commitment. Yeah.
for sure. But with EV sales tanking, what does that mean?
I think that's a loss for a lot of
Does
these
that just
companies that are
ruin the
making.
used car market now in California?
I feel like it could, but I think that's where like government kind of has to step in and incentivize people to buy,
Okay.
because that's usually what happens. Like if there's something that the government is like trying to push the American people to do, you have to incentivize them. So that'd be like tax credits and
True.
breaks for the manufacturers and things like that.
Very true. Very true.
So to your point, yeah, Mr. Biden would have to incentivize companies and people to buy more. Which I mean,
Fair
you
enough.
still the bulk of people own a combustion engine. However, you gotta kind of incentivize the companies too, like to want to make more after they just got penalized for trying to make more for some companies.
Oh, for sure. But you got anything else for us on the docket?
Um, man, I think that is about all for today. I just definitely wanted to talk about the definitely the interesting political landscape with Mr. Biden dropping out of his race and Miss Kamala taking the helm now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm interested to see who she picks as a running mate.
I am too. I think that dictate how far she goes in this and if she does win. I think
Because
that could
off the
play a
top of my head,
factor.
I couldn't tell you who's even a contender.
Me neither. It probably. Yeah. I don't know. Well,
Well,
there
I
were
mean, to be
talks
fair, I
about.
wouldn't have thought of JD Vance for Trump either. I had no idea who he was prior.
True. True.
Same thing for Mike Pence. I don't even know what he's up to nowadays.
Yeah, he's an
Why'd you
interesting
chuckle, bro? You know something I don't.
Nah,
You
I
saw him
just know.
last week or something.
Nah, dog. I gave him a call. He ain't answer. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's rough.
But you're telling me. But no, I don't know who would be the running mate. Honestly, it'd be funny if she threw in Hillary, but I think that would. I'm not gonna lie. That probably
Nah,
take up her. That
I was
take
about
up
to
her.
say that's a little counterproductive.
Yeah, but you got to think if you're talking about experience. I mean, who
Is
else
there
you
an
got?
age minimum for VP? Because I know JD Vance is like 39. He's pretty young
A minimum?
for
I
VP. Yeah.
don't know if there is, but I think there definitely might be.
I think someone like AOC would help.
She definitely would. She definitely would. But I'm trying to see if there is a
Because I know a lot of Democratic
minimum.
governors and state reps and senators have definitely come out, in large ways to support her. I forget his name, like Webb Moore. I believe he's the governor of Maryland.
Okay.
45 years old, governor of Maryland. I know he showed her a lot of support.
Okay, so that could be a possible option. So
For
there
sure.
is an age minimum. So you have to be 35 for it to be
How was
vice
AOC? I
president.
think she
34.
over 35.
So
Oh,
it's
she's
not their position.
34?
Yeah, so if this was to be something that would happen, it wouldn't be now. Well, technically, it depends
Her
on when
her
her
birthday's in
birthday
October
is.
though.
Oh, so she's fine.
Does she have to be? Does it specify exactly when she has to be 35 by?
35. No, it just says
Is
be
it
at
by
least
when she's sworn in
35.
or when she's
I'm
chosen?
guessing it's by when she's chosen, and then from there, the process of being sworn in.
And I'm assuming you
It'd
can't
be.
pick a VP a month before the election.
I mean, you probably could, but I'm not sure how that even would play out
The
because you have to
optics.
have,
Yeah.
yeah, you have to have at least someone.
Oh man, I would have loved to see AOC up there.
Talking about change. That'd definitely
Before
be.
y'all come after me for my political views, I
That'd
don't
be
even know what she believe in. I just know she from New York.
okay. All right. Well, this is a New York guy, so
Oh
you
wait,
gotta
Trump's
go
from
with
New
that.
York. Never mind. Never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah. You know exactly what she's up to. Don't lie.
Never mind.
No.
I know my
But
New York is perfect.
AOC definitely her stances. I don't really know, but I know she was really big on clean energy and green energy stuff. She's very much so like progressive. So she wouldn't be your type of girl, bro. She wouldn't be your type of girl, I'll be honest.
AOC fine though. Damn.
Bro. She used to wait tables, bro. Now she's
It's
over here in the Senate.
hey brother, it's
Not
cause
the Senate,
she's
the
never
House of
taken a
Reps.
ride in no American V8. That's the issue.
You don't know that.
I got a feeling. There's no
What
way
feeling
you've
do you
ridden
have?
in an American V8 and you support the stronger emissions. There's no way. I
But
refuse
here's
to
the
believe
thing,
it.
bro. I think you can have those positions, because I love, you know, gas vehicles, but also I love to, see to make sure we're doing well, to see things move forward, like gas, fossil fuels. We've used them for a while and they're definitely important to have, but they do cause issues long term.
I
There's
guess,
definitely
brother.
stuff that we're not gonna dive in on this episode, but
True,
talk
true,
about
true.
like Chevron and Exxon. They knew how bad these things were before they even let the American people know. So let's be fair.
Getting online, and these car companies do get sued and fined from time to time for forging numbers and
Mhm.
underreporting power numbers and emission numbers. Well, you gotta do what you gotta do if you ask me, but
Listen, dog, they're making their money. You see what I'm saying?
absolutely. But man,
Actually,
you
don't
talk
see what
about
I'm
things
saying.
like this.
See
In
what I'm
my head,
saying?
all I hear is that Hellcat wine and then that Mustang Mach E 1400. When
Yeah.
you bring up this conversation, that's all I hear. This or
that,
this.
yeah.
So.
But there's a trade off between this or this. One, your grandkids, have a nice life. Two, your grandkids will grow up with a tumor the size of a golf ball on the side of their face. Like, these are options you got to look at.
And my grandkids gonna be just fine. And what's life without a little struggle, brother?
Mm.
You gotta
Say
face some
that to
type
the
of
people that
hardship.
died in Japan.
Oh wow.
Say that to the people. What do you mean? What is
You
life
mean
without a
like
little
like
struggle?
natural causes in the last week? Yeah, God rest their souls.
Come on, dog.
Yeah, people die every day, even in Japan. Great place, by the way. I'd love to travel to Japan.
Bro, I throw on a kimono. Oh, and I'd call the main Jap in Okinawa. Let him know I'm coming.
Urokodaki-san.
Yeah, bro.
I'm on my way.
I'd let him know. Dude, it'd be an amazing place to go. What do they call it? The something of the rising sun. What is it? Because it's like their
Like the
flag.
country of the rising sun, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. That's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty tough. But
Mount
it's a beautiful
Fuji.
place.
The cherry blossoms ever. The bustling
I'd love to see that.
downtown.
I'd want to go there just for the cherry blossoms in the mountain, like just to see that. That's
Oh, the
dope.
scenery's beautiful. Architecture, it's a
We gotta
vibe.
get out there. We gotta get out
For
there.
sure. See, and we gonna get out there when they get these numbers up, brother. Come on now. The TikTok. We gotta run it up. The TikTok,
We
the
do have to
Instagram,
get that squared away.
the YouTube, the Spotify, iTunes coming soon. We didn't forget about y'all. Apple Podcasts. It's on the way. It's coming very, very soon.
Definitely.
Absolutely. But is that all we got for today, brother?
So we got for today, man. That's all we got for today.
All right, perfect. Well, I already listed all the socials, y'all. Please check us out everywhere. Show us support.
Absolutely.
Greatly appreciate it. We're trying to see this go somewhere.
For sure.
We'd love for y'all to accompany us throughout the ride. So as I said, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify. Fuck, I'm missing something. YouTube, the 414 on YouTube. Everywhere else, the 414 official. Exactly how I said it. Thank you for tuning in to another one. Have a great one. Peace.
Peace.